Thank you, Dr. Norris. Wow, I can't help but feel a little bit like that rookie player that puts the uniform on and it's going to be his first game and he gets shoved out the door and he gets to take warm-up by himself, and it's got to be exhilarating, that feeling, and I can't help but maybe have that a little bit here. I think I'm getting a little bit of a rookie initiation by being put in the starting lineup, but at the end of the day, I want to bring some energy to you. Hopefully to bring some insight to you. I can promise what we're doing isn't going to work in every situation for you, but what my hopes really are is that you can grab some things that we've experienced over at least the last 10 years, and then into the 33 years of our existence that can help you and can take you back home to shape your programs and your federations. I'm going to ask you right out of the gate to imagine a massive multi-sport recreational complex. 250,000 square feet, okay? 250,000 square feet. Just for reference, end to end, side to side, that's 4.5 football fields put together, basically forming a squared footprint. In this complex, 2 full-size NHL ice sheets, 8 full-size basketball courts that convert to 16 volleyball courts, 10 full-time pickleball courts, a full-service restaurant, and retail. Sounds ambitious. It is. Sounds impossible. If you can hang in with me for 20 minutes, I'll give you the answer. I'm going to take you back here a little bit just for context of when we started and where we came from. We traded snow boots for cowboy boots, okay? Snow boots for cowboy boots. This was in 1993, 33 years ago. This was a really bold move at the time, and this slide kind of reflects a little bit of the contrast in the markets. Minnesota, the state of hockey. Texas, the home of American football. Okay? Hundreds of outdoor ice rinks, hundreds of indoor ice rinks, frozen ponds, frozen lakes, thousands of players. Dallas, 1 rink, 1 sheet, a handful of players. What are we doing? What are we doing? But this just helps put a little bit of context into the market we were leaving to the market we were headed to. And when we were headed to this market, we had really 3 key benefits moving into that market. It was a thriving economy. We had a charismatic, experienced, and vision-forward leadership in Jim Lights. The third benefit we had was we had a young, rising superstar that had marketability and could electrify you out of your seat at any moment in Mike Modano. What a great way to start a new journey in a new area. So, like I said, we had the leadership of Jim Lights. We knew we had to grow our fans organically. And how we were going to grow those fans organically was going to be through participation. We really feel that you can get connected and you can pique curiosity if you really start to feel something, start to experience something, start to enjoy something. That's where love of something comes from. Like I said, in the first 6 years, we had a lot of benefits. We had a decent hockey team. But the other thing is that we didn't have any distractions. We could focus on the base. We could focus on setting a foundation, starting tri-hockey programs, getting youth leagues up and running. And there was no really obstacle to any of that, especially early on in the beginning. Registrations were hit and miss. But in that first 6 years, we had the best boost you could possibly get for registration. We win the Stanley Cup. And when we win the Stanley Cup, we have so many kids, so many adults that want to experience hockey, but we weren't ready. But Jim Lights, being a visionary, had already had a plan for a public-private partnership that would allow infrastructure to be developed in a non-traditional area. And so within the next 10 years, we were able to add 6 more sheets of ice and also start to really take shape our player development pyramid. We started to fill in all the holes of all the levels from recreational hockey to what I'll call advanced hockey. And you'll hear me use the term advanced hockey a lot. And what I'm trying to do, especially for the countries that don't necessarily have Tier 1 or Tier 2 or AA or AAA, basically that competitive level I'll refer to as advanced. Everything below that I'll refer to as recreational. So, for 16 years, we're rolling along, and things are great. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we become collateral damage of our owner's business portfolio. He had 2 other entities that didn't pan out, that failed, and we were tied to those. And out of that, we got spun into bankruptcy. This threw us in absolute chaos. We went on life support. There was no focus on grassroots. There was no focus on running youth hockey leagues. We were strictly in survival mode, trying to create some forms of revenue so that we could keep the lights on and the doors open. The other most impactful time through this bankruptcy situation was our player development pyramids. So I'm sorry, we were in utter chaos. We were boats without rudders. So the other most impactful thing that happened during this bankruptcy is our player development pyramid was completely flipped upside down. And what I mean by that is that there was no longer any developmental programs, developmental leagues. Everything went to an advanced level and to an advanced club. So what was ended up happening is we had almost 75% of our hockey players at the time playing in this level, whether they were qualified or not. And then along with this comes what? An advanced time commitment, advanced expenses, an advanced experience that maybe when you're just beginning, you're not quite ready. Families would give this a year or so and then leave. So luckily, we didn't spend a full length, we spent about a year and a half in bankruptcy. And then from bankruptcy in late 2011 to 2014, the club needed to take care of the club. We weren't in bankruptcy anymore, but we still needed to focus on getting the hockey club healthy. But in 2014, now the hockey club got healthy, and we could start to turn our attentions back to doing all the right things again. And one of the main things that there were three main things that really took place in 2014. One was any involvement actively that we had in this advanced level, we got right out of. Because during bankruptcy, we were in this. We had clubs in this. We had teams in this. We were part of the chaos. So coming in 2014, we pull out of there. Our local affiliate through USA Hockey caused contraction at the advanced level. This level at the time for Dallas had upwards of 12 clubs and unlimited number of teams. There were no restrictions. There were no guidelines. 12 clubs for our market, and they came in and contracted it down to 5. So now we're starting to get back to look something like this. We get out of here. We're back to here. Okay? We contract this. 5 clubs, 9 teams total. That means 2 birth year teams at each age and an 18-year-old team. But wait, aren't we missing an age group? The little guys. In one of the most revolutionary bylaws, guidelines that I've ever seen is that our affiliate made it to where every 8U had to stay in the rec level of hockey until you're 9. And we did this for a couple of reasons. We did this to protect them from themselves financially, because you know how motivated these new parents are. They can't wait to make their kids move up. They can't wait to have their kids play in advanced hockey. But with that comes costs that they don't even understand or expect. So we did that to help them, protect them from themselves. And then we also did it so that we could really, really take care and put them in the right environment for their own development. So now, 2014, we have us removed out of anything that's advanced, focusing back on the grassroots and where we should be. We have right-sized the advanced hockey model, and now we kind of don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. This is where I'd like to spend a significant amount of time. This part of my presentation single-handedly has allowed us to have no limitations to where we want to go in the youth hockey world. And it's all a credit to USA Hockey. And at the time, it's all a credit to the leader at the time, which was Kevin McLaughlin. We went to Kevin McLaughlin in April of 2015. We explained our circumstances and we said, look, we need a model. We need some guidance. Give us the latest and the greatest. Well, luckily for us, they're 6 years into the athletic development, the American development model with long-term, athletic principles. And our timing was right because they were hitting their sweet spot when we really needed their leadership. And they invested in us 120%. We spent a week there and we found an adaptation of the American development model that really fit all of our needs. What were some of our needs? We needed a model that would facilitate optimal development regardless of the experience of a coach. So understand we're in Dallas, Texas. We're going to have upwards to 70, 75 youth teams that are in our rec level program, and we need coaches. They're not all going to be experienced. How do we limit the impact of an inexperienced coach on the development of this child? And the answer is the station-based training model. What this does, if we strategically place that coach in the right environment and we ask him, look, all I need you to do is bring energy, bring a positive attitude, keep the chaos to a minimum, and have fun, he now is just as valuable as the guy that can teach a pass, teach a shot, teach a power skate. Now we're really moving towards something. The other thing that we needed in our model is that we needed to be able to handle all of the grassroots programs of acquiring new players into our program. We needed a model that could handle all of our efforts on bringing new kids into hockey. The player-centered, station-based training model does that. Because one of the key principles is that you're building clusters. And there's thresholds. Station-based practice based on age can effectively develop up to 45, sometimes 50 players at a time for 1 hour of ice. That's huge. That means that we don't have any more waiting lists. We don't have any more barriers or ceilings as to how many kids we can try to register. We have space and room for everybody because we all know what happens when we have waiting lists. They move on. They move on. Third and final is that we needed something that could be validated because it's change. We needed something that we could rely on that wasn't opinion to sell or to educate or to inform our customer because they're smart, but they also don't like change. And so what this did with the American development model is it gave us a blueprint that was based on science, data, facts, not opinions, and it's been a home run. It is a blueprint to youth hockey that can be adapted in any environment. I'll bring it home a little bit closer here. Say you're a club. You're experiencing some great years. And now all of a sudden you're running into an ice issue. Some weeks you have a single team on the ice. Most weeks you have a double team on the ice. If you were to implement one station-based practice a month, just one within your club, I'm going to tell you what the automatic impact is going to be. You're either going to free up 1 to 2 more hours of ice somewhere because you're going to have to pull in a cluster to run this practice effectively. You're going to put a player in a player-centered model. So now you're putting the player first. There's no lines, there's no lectures, there's lots of activity, and the best part is there's lots of repetition. And the Parrish study tells us that one station-based practice can equal up to 5 times the amount of repetitions as one coach-based practice. So now just by adding one of these, and again, it might look a little different, but the concept's the same. By adding one of these, you have just now added almost 7 or 8 practices to your club. And it's not difficult. It's probably refreshing. If coaches give it a chance, it's real coaching. These kids, they suck the life right out of you. Now instead of worrying about 20 of them and worrying about a clock, and we have the pucks over here, and then Billy's got to go to the bathroom, Now you have 6 kids. Now you have 6 kids. And when they leave, you get to impact 6 more. So in that 1 hour, you've now impacted 40 to 45 kids, and that's development. And that's right. And I can't tell you, we are so grateful to USA Hockey. We are so grateful for their efforts that they put into researching this. And then not only that, but the time that they invested us. And it still continues today. You know, Kevin has moved on now with a different federation. But Bob Mancini, he's picked up exactly where we left off. We can call any time, day or night, with any need that we need, and they and their team are there. They and their team are there. And again, it's not the perfect rollout of the athletic development model. It's an adaptability one that fits our needs. Cannot say enough about it. If you really haven't had a chance to sort of dig into this, I really encourage you to do it. I just think personally what it did for me. I played hockey my whole life. After playing hockey professionally, I got to coach and teach professionally. And then after that, I thought I knew everything. I thought I had this all figured out. And then in 2015, I was hired to sort all this mess out, and I had no clue. But spending a week with USA Hockey and really starting to understand what they were talking about, light bulbs were going on everywhere. It's like that chess movie, The Queen. Help me out here. The Queen's Gambit. You know, I would lay in bed at night after having conversations, and like stuff's just moving and it's coming and it's flowing. Now, I didn't take any of those pretty pills. I didn't need that. But that's the kind of impact that this model will provoke. And it really gave us a roadmap to really follow and guide to follow. And we're 10 years in now. Now we're purposeful. Now we're all rowing in the same direction.
Playing in the NHL was a dream of mine since I was a little kid. I would have never had the chance without learning the game early and chasing that dream.
Zubov to Modano, shot, he scores! What a pass!
That's why I have teamed up with the Dallas Stars Foundation to design a new program called Little Rookies, a free 4-week program to learn the game I love at ice facilities across the Metroplex. Space is limited, so sign up your little rookie today and make their dreams come true.
I hope you can tell that we got through the mud in the beginning, and like this is the good stuff, right? This is the stuff that really like gets me juiced and gets our organization juiced. So along with the athletic development model and restructuring our youth recreational hockey league, we also started implementing a player acquisition program. How are we going to break down every barrier in a non-traditional market to all of a sudden jump ahead of some other opportunities or activities on the parent list? Can it have a cost? No. Does it have to be straightforward and simple? Yes. It needs to be as easy as it possibly can be. Because here's what happens. So we're in Dallas, Texas, and still non-traditional market. I have a child. I don't really know anything about hockey. This child starts to get to the age of 4 and 5, and for some reason, maybe somebody talked about it at school or whatever, he comes home and he goes, "Dad, I want to try hockey." And he kind of looks at himself, and he looks and goes down his checklist. Okay, we were going to do baseball, and we were going to do football, and then we might try some golf. There's going to be a little soccer. You know, mom was a tennis player in college. Okay, maybe we can get to hockey. So for our average family, I mean, I would take if we were even 7. I don't even know if sometimes we even got on the list. But what we were able to do is we were able to go to ownership and ask for funding that would directly go to a player customer acquisition program that would eliminate all barriers. So what we've been doing now since 2014 is we run what's called Little Rookies. It's a free program. You sign up online. In the early days, you used to come and we would fit you in equipment head to toe and put you in rental skates. We give you a stick. And then for 4 Saturdays, you come and we teach you mostly learn to skate. And I'll get into why that. Hockey's not for me. Give us the equipment back. We clean it, repurpose it, use it. Hockey's for me. We have a next step program. We have a bargain price to purchase the equipment now that you've just been wearing. And now you're off on your journey. And in the early days, we were averaging 60 participants per session, probably doing 2 sessions a month in one of our 6 at the time facilities, with about a 29% retention rate. We thought that was awesome. But since we started in 2014, we've really been progressive. We now invested, designed, ordered, and built our own equipment. We also didn't just buy age 6 to 9, we bought 6 to 60. So if you're an adult, if you're a teenager, if you're a boy, if you're a girl, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, and you sign up for the Little Rookies, now you get to do a virtual fitting online. Your first session is how to put it on, but when you open the bag, this is what you get. We've been doing this now 2 years. Retention, almost 62%. Because it's attractive, it's fun, it's really impactful. So the impact of this program: eliminate barriers, foster lifelong love for hockey. This is how we are going to continue to have fans when we're not in our Stanley Cup window. Because let's be honest, we can't predict it, but as a professional club, we're going to all go through it. How do we minimize the delta when we're not having so many wins compared to losses? How do we keep that interest? That interest comes by getting people to truly start to be passionate about our sport. And when they do that, the wins and losses, yes, they still count, but the impact is minimal. They still come to games. They still cheer for you. So instead of right now when we're 19,275 because we're winning conference championships and we're challenging for the cup, you know, when we're just fighting to make the playoffs, or maybe we're not even in that position, how do we minimize that drop to maybe 17-5 or 18-5 instead of 14-5 or 12? And it's when teams don't engage in these types of things is when they really get in trouble.
We are here for adult rookies at the Star Center in Plano, and we are here for the adults to get better.
The Adult Rookies program is an opportunity for adults 18 and up to get a free chance at playing hockey, in which we provide free instruction, equipment, and ice time for them to learn the basics of the game.
Ready? Yep. Now just keep going. Come on, keep going.
Having 4 kids that play hockey, we thought, I think it's mom's turn to try, and hats off to the kids. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be.
Make sure your chest is up. Good job, good shot.
A lot of us are hockey moms and some dads. None of us really know how to skate, but all our kids do, so it was a good opportunity for us.
Y'all are doing great.
Oh, you're the sweetest.
How do you think I did?
She has a few things to work on, but she did good.
What else can you say? Right? What else can you say? So what we have is a roadmap, and we live by these 3 pillars: try, play, then compete. So try, that's your rookies. Come and give it a test. See if you like it. If you like it, come and play. We're going to teach you. We're going to help you get better. We're going to help you progress. And then as soon as you start to feel confident and comfortable, bam, you're competing. And when we get you here, you're a fan for life. When we get you here, you're a fan for life. And we keep our fingers crossed it's for the green and black. But it doesn't matter, because a hockey fan's a hockey fan. And these are the 3 pillars that we really live by. All right, so I'm going to kind of buzz through this one. You can't have growth initiatives if you don't have any place for these kids to play. And let's be honest, there's a challenge, especially in non-traditional markets, to get municipalities to even invest in recreation facilities, let alone an ice rink. Now in Texas, if I wanted a 40,000-seat football stadium with hot tubs, cold tubs, ice down, whatever, I can get that all day long. Our baseball field's probably pretty nice too. But if I talk to the city about investing and building a hockey rink, it's a blank stare. And a lot of it is because, they understand that they're growing and they need to provide these amenities. But when a city owns and operates these facilities, and I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world, but I know in our country, these facilities operate most of the time at a loss. It's a burden. It becomes a burden, especially as they age and they need repair. Okay? And then the next thing is when you start to add the ice rink component in, oh my gosh. Now I have no knowledge of an industry. You're asking me to sink millions of dollars into something that I don't know anything about. I think we're going to stick to football. So the answer, and this is where the vision of Gym Lights really comes into play. Jim understood that we had to be the catalyst. We were the stakeholders. We had to invest in the community if we wanted the community to invest in us. And so what he did was he did this public-private partnership. And this is the cornerstone of equaling our player and participant growth with facility growth. What happens is, in this partnership, the city funds a bond vote. This gives them the ability to cash flow the project from the beginning. What we do is we take over management of the facility and operations of the facility. We implement programs of the facility, and we basically run that facility, taking that burden off of them. This is what we do. This is what we do for a living and a profession. The other benefit is that the city gets to create a vast economic revenue source through hotels, tourism, whatever sales tax that they can acquire. What we do is we get into a long-term 30-year lease with them, and we service the debt. So every month, the Dallas Stars write a check to the city to debt service the initial bond, alleviating them of any of the financial burden. The next part is now the city gets to enjoy their amenity. It's low stress because we assume all the revenue, but we also assume all the expense. So we've taken finance right out of the equation. And the responsibility now falls on us. But we want it on us. It's our sport. We want to be able to have control and the ability to expand. I'm going to blow through this super, super quick. When I was putting this together, I started to wonder, like, okay, Dallas and Houston, both located in Texas, both similar geography, both similar demographics. Houston, right now, 4th largest city in the United States. Okay, what does it look like in 1993 when we came to Dallas? And then what does it look like today? It's kind of astounding. So in 1993, you can see we were both pretty parallel. Some youth associations, a scatter of youth, one rink, okay? By having a stakeholder, by having a catalyst, by having somebody that truly cares about the sport and understands value, in 2025, we have 22 sheets of ice. They have 5. We have 7,200 youth players playing hockey. They have 1,000. We have 11,000 adults playing hockey. They have 1,000. And there's only one simple fact that is missing from this equation, and that's a stakeholder. And just as a little side note, in the 1970s, they did have a stakeholder. It was the WHA's Houston Arrows. And Gordie Howe and his family spent 3 years there. What's really funny is they had 7 rinks during that period. They had all this growth. They go away, the rinks went away, and so did the players. It's just an interesting story of comparison. All right, the present. We currently sit at 8 two-sheet facilities. We have 2 multi-sport facilities. I'll explain some of that. Our youth participants right now playing hockey. Now, this could be in the advanced level or in the recreational level or in our hockey academy programs, 6,000. Adults playing in our Learn to Play hockey programs, our hockey academy programs, in our adult leagues, which goes A, B, C, D, E, F. I don't know if we got to G yet, but I think F. 9,800. What do you think we could attribute this growth to? We talked about the little rookies and, these programs and all of this, but there's a factor that I'm missing here, and it really didn't dawn on me till actually this morning. We've been in existence, and we've been working and providing hockey to our area for 33 years. So what other outlying factor is now starting to play a role in this number? Anybody? Generational. Now all of a sudden we taught an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and now all of a sudden they have a 6-year-old. Well, guess what Dad did? That's the story that's starting to get told in our market now. And again, if you came to us in our beginnings when you were 10, it happened even sooner. And to be really honest, it didn't really connect with me until earlier. All right, the future. What's the future look like for the Dallas Stars? Well, I can tell you that it's exciting. I can tell you it's ambitious. I can tell you that it's a little bit scary, but I think it's revolutionary. We are no longer just a hockey club. We have become a world-class recreational sports leader. That vision I asked you to create in your mind at the beginning of my talk, that will open in February of 2026. A massive undertaking, multi-sport. And you know what the best part is? You can't walk in the place and not know where you're at. It's Dallas Stars. It's Dallas Stars basketball, Dallas Stars volleyball, Dallas Stars hockey, Dallas Stars pickleball. And these are the things that we need to do now as an organization to lessen that delta, to make sport healthy. Ambitious? Yes. Impossible? No. And that's our mindset. And it's been our mindset and it's been our vision from the inception of a guy like Jim Lights, who really saw the future of sustainability. I'll finish with just a couple of key takeaways. The major stakeholder bears the responsibility of being the catalyst. Nobody is going to do this for you. You're going to have to figure out a way to make it happen. Municipalities are not going to build you your ice rink if you're in specifically a non-traditional market. You're going to have to be creative, and how can we get this done? You bear that burden, but you also reap the reward. Again, what we're finding out is that the financial stability and the variable, it depends on our investment and our level of investment in the community, not necessarily on the wins and losses. And if we relied solely on those wins and losses, we would be in a lot of trouble when we start to go into those phases. And then it's ultra important of creating access without barriers. How can you get people to try it, touch it, feel it, experience it? That piques their curiosity. That grows their passion. That turns them into a fan of our sport, regardless of team. Like I said, our model, it doesn't fit for everywhere. I am so proud to have had the opportunity and come and present to you today and tell our story, because we're extremely proud. We work extremely hard. This doesn't just happen. And it also doesn't happen without partnerships. The commitment from USA Hockey, the guidance that they've given us, the leadership that they've given us. We can't do it alone either. And so I want to thank you. I hope that maybe something resonated and that you can take it back and apply it to your club, your federation, your city. And I just really, again, am very appreciative of the opportunity to come and speak to you today. Thanks.